You already know what it is. It's your boy Lightwalker X here, back with another video. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been saying this probably for as long as I've had my channel, but we need to stop obsessing over charts. The video I just did yesterday was basically talking about J. Cole and Drake's recent lawsuit mess, as they're in a whole bunch of lawsuits. Some are getting sued by old friends and contemporaries. Others are getting sued by gambling companies or people who felt wronged by gambling companies and the states themselves and music streaming services. It's a whole mess, right? But I think all of this, in terms of where we're at with botting in music and bot conspiracy theories and fake accounts and stuff like that, like, I think where we're at right now is the breaking point. People's mental ability to just listen to music as a consumer has disappeared. Something that should be second nature is completely overtaken by the need to obsess over the charts. And this is why, to me, I think Billboard and Spotify and all these streaming platforms and record labels and whoever, they just need to hide the numbers from the public. The artists, the people within the industry, the labels themselves, they can have access to the numbers as they should. There still needs to be a metric system for these artists to follow. But I do think that this information should not be accessible to the public, because in the beginning, sure, it was cool to know how much your favorite artist was selling, how well they were doing, how they were performing. But then once stanship became infested in hip hop, this became a sickness. There is literally no positive benefit to understanding these metrics. Unless you're in the industry, unless you want to be in the industry, or this is something that you want to be involved in, then that makes sense. If this is a career that you're going into, you want to learn how streaming works in the industry, you want to be working for a label, or maybe being an A&R for an artist or artist yourself. These things I think are extremely important to understand. But if you're not an artist, if you're just a person that consumes music or a person online with a little bit of following, you should have no reason to go and use these numbers to justify why you think this artist is better than this artist and so forth. I refuse to believe that this is the right thing to do as a person. I just can't obsess over metrics that don't pay me. I've said this over and over again on this channel. These streaming numbers are not gonna pay me. I could care less because I ain't gaining the success myself. This is for the artists, and you can be happy, you can support, you can even repost and share if the artist that you like is performing well. There's nothing wrong with that, and I like to distinguish the two. But the stands, they don't like to distinguish the two. You either obsess with numbers or you don't believe in numbers because the artist you like is not selling well. And this is the mentality that they have, and it is a sickness. So Billboard, all the Spotify's, the Apple Musics, whoever you want to put in there, get rid of the streaming metrics. Make sure that we can't see them anymore, because going forward, I think that is going to make people have to listen to the music. They will have nothing else to brag about. Imagine the fan bases, and I'm not even going to name them, but imagine the fan bases that obsess over the metrics, the fan bases that live off the numbers, that live off the validation that they get from seeing their favorite artists outperform everyone else. Imagine them, those same people who obsess over the metrics so much that they don't know anything about the music. I bet you if you ask them, they couldn't even recite 3 different verses, because they know the charts more than the artists themselves and how they work. These people will go into tangents about bundles and all these tricks that these industries and these labels use. And I'm like, bro, I really don't care. Can you tell me why you think this artist is a good artist and use the music to help prove your point? It's like they're incapable of doing this. And it's sad, because I was 17 years old 10 years ago, to put it into perspective. There was a time when I would listen to all the music that was coming out, and I could care less about what or how well it did. And at that point in time in social media, yeah, people would put out, if Drake or Kendrick or whoever sells well, right? You have the anomalies and stuff like that. And of course, if there is a high selling album, they would announce it. But there wasn't that much of a structure or culture around Billboard first. Of course, the artists in the industry, the people in the industry, they're competing to obviously make sure we get these charts. The chart positioning and how it works always was a thing within the industry. But at least beforehand, it was an industry known thing, right? People in the industry would do their best to try and get higher in the charts by putting out better music, getting connections, going with certain deals and things like that, etc. But the public didn't, for the most part, care about those charts. And if they did, if they had knowledge about these charts and stuff like that, they weren't using it in a negative way. They weren't using it in a way where they're trying to disrespect other people's platforms. They would most likely be using it to say, hey, yeah, you know, this artist sold this and it hasn't really been done before. But outside of that, it wasn't this culture of stats, metrics first, music second. That culture didn't exist. And to me, what it does is it makes people forget how to enjoy the music. Something that's so simple. You play a song, you close your eyes or whatever, however you want to be, and you listen to it and you take it in and you experience that song. You experience the music because that's what it is, an experience. But now it's like charts first. So screw listening to the music and, you know, trying to figure out how it makes me feel. Now it's about, if that song didn't sell well, then it didn't perform well. And that means that it's not a good song. What happened to the game I love? Like, for real, what happened to the game I love? People are here telling me they can't listen to a song if it didn't sell a certain amount. And that's the part that's crazy to me. Like, they're like, oh, hits. It's all about the hits. I look at it at the end of the day, it's like you could drop hits nonstop, but dropping hits in this era doesn't matter anymore because the music is so diluted. The attention to detail is gone. People don't even want to put any effort into what they're putting out. So making hits is the bare minimum at this point, especially when we know that this industry is built on false streams. We know that the industry can play a ton of tricks, and we know they do for certain artists, specific ones, right, to make them look bigger than they are. So in that case, why does this matter? We're in a position where we have to tell people to let go of these stats. And unfortunately, I don't think a good chunk of these people will. They'll never let it go. Why? Because their favorites are performing well. But let's just say down the line, we find out that certain artists that we believe were doing well and were authentic were not. What happens then? And I'm looking forward. I genuinely am looking forward to the day that these fan bases find out that the numbers they prop up so much are all fake. It's built on falsification. It's built through industry push. The same thing that they accuse other artists of doing, they're guilty of themselves. I can't wait to see what happens because a lot of these people feel embodied through these specific individuals based on how they perform in the industry. And these people are going home to regular everyday lives. They're not getting the success from the artists themselves, right? And we all have to work. We all live lives. We have to live in reality. But don't get it twisted. Just because the artist you like and stand for is selling well doesn't mean it applies to you. This is how far we've come. And this is why I say it's a sickness. We need to get rid of the streaming numbers so people can put music back first. That's where it belongs. That's what's ruining the discourse and the dialogue. And if you remove the streaming stats from the conversation, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to defend their favorite artists that they believe are so good. And that's just the truth. So we're in the process of finding out now that Drake allegedly has been botting billions of streams. We've already heard allegations of other artists like Young Thug saying he has a bot plug. It is an open secret, and it is now known to the public. And I pray that one day, once this all revealed, that this streaming era has been built on falsification and being unfair to other artists because they're propping up specific ones, I pray that going forward, we can have a music first dialogue, a music first discussion where we actually appreciate the art form rather than the white institutions that prop up these Billboard stats, because that is also white validation. I know a lot of people who are Billboard and metric first, they'll say awards are white validation. What do you think the institutions that prop up these streaming metrics are? It's the same exact thing. There is no difference, right? So if you prop up streaming numbers, you're in the same boat of the people that you're accusing of wanting white validation. And that's just the truth. It's plain as day. We shouldn't ignore it no more. And I think, honestly, it has done a lot of damage to people's mentals because they're just so obsessed with numbers. And now it's becoming a thing where we got to put overnight sleep playlists on just to get the numbers higher for specific songs. These people aren't even listening to the music. So tell me, you guys tell me, is this not a sickness? It seems like a sickness to me. And I pray that we can figure out a way to rid this dialogue and toxic rhetoric from hip hop. It's going to take a while because billboards are very important still, no matter what. The artists are striving to make sure that, you know, they have a sustainable hit and impact on the charts. That's fine. But I think when the fans get toxic, when they start doxing people, threatening to murder them and track them down and want to fight them because they're going back and forth about these statistics, that's when it becomes an illness. And I really think that this needs to be addressed. And going forward, if these billboard companies and Spotify's want to just take a little bit of accountability, they should probably look at that, because I think it could actually do a lot for the culture, not just hip hop, but music as a whole. If they hide these streaming numbers from us and say, yeah, the public doesn't have access to them anymore, what are the people going to have to talk about? The music. So you guys let me know down below what you think. I guess in the coming days or weeks, we will find out more about who is botting and who is not. Days or weeks, we will find out more about who is botting and who is not. And who is not. Who is legitimate and who is faking their streams. We're going to find out, and you already know I'm going to be covering it. So I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Hit that bell for notifications. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Stay blessed and stay tuned.